Twitch and YouTube today. We're gonna be streaming from Kick. I barely be on there. When it comes to Twitch though, I'm always on Twitch. Oh man, let me send that text. Okay. Alright. I did that. We ready to get into it now. Here we go. This is WWE 2K24. 8 huge details you missed. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
WWE 2K24 news is upon us, man, and we're here today talking about 8 massive details that you might have missed and that I want to go on ahead and talk about with y'all. Before I get into this, I want to talk about the WWE 2K24 giveaway. All you have to do is follow the instructions on the side of the screen and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that and you will be eligible for a free copy of WWE 2K24. And before I get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to Kiro Valentine. Y'all make sure to go check him out for pointing out this interview to me, and WrestleZone for putting out this interview as well. Let's go on ahead and start off with number one, the quick save feature. I think that this is going to be very cool, and the way that it seems is like if you're in the middle of creating a wrestler and you need to turn off your console and do something, you can actually save and pause where you're at and come back to it. So kind of how like the quick resume works on Xbox, where you can leave the game, turn off your Xbox, come back, and you can turn the Xbox back on and you'll be right where you left off. And I think that's really cool, and I think that's really, really good for the game as well. And I think that's something that when the game crashes or something like that, that feature will be there to recover what you lost. And I think that that is a very, very nice feature, a nice addition to the game, especially when the game crashes. Number two, this is a big one, and it's nothing confirmed yet, but it's a small detail that was talked about, and it's about My Faction possibly you being able to grind and get that model, and you're able to use it around the game and do whatever you want to do with it. Very briefly, just going to show you what Lionel Jenkins said.
Announced anything yet, but let's just say that we hope to, please people with a future announcement. So
I think they're using My Faction models in WWE 2K24 all around the game, that I'm able to take an attire and put it in universe mode or play exhibition. I think that's the best thing you can do. I think that that'll actually help the mode grow, because there are so many players that have that perception of the mode where they don't even want to touch it. But if they tell you you can grind for this and you can spend money, do whatever you want to do to unlock the card, but you can take the attire and that model into the game and use it anywhere you want, I think that's one of the biggest incentives for players, because as you guys know, when it comes to wrestling, attires are very important, and that's something that we look forward to. Maybe an attire from like 10 years ago that they might put in. This year they put the Big Papa Pump attire in WWE 2K23 My Faction, but nobody was able to use it in exhibition universe mode because it was locked in, and that really sparked some outrage in the community. And I think that they finally might have listened, but they haven't announced anything fully yet, so I think that's going to be a big one. Another big feature is that universe mode will support every match type. As you guys know, double title match, that wasn't in universe mode. I know that they like to keep certain things out because sometimes it may not match up with the code, or universe mode might not be able to fully support it because it already has so much going on. But the fact that this mode will support every single match type that they're putting in this year, as Lionel Jenkins said, I think that's going to be really cool. You guys can check out what he said right here as well.
And also supporting all of these new match types, right, within universe, I think is extremely important and also difficult for us, right, because of the way that universe is structured.
If we can actually go on ahead and do an ambulance match, or you can do a loser leaves town match and put them in an ambulance match, that would be dope. Or even a casket match, that's really cool that it is supported in universe mode, and I think that that's great for the game. And double title matches are back this year, and run-ins for the cash in Money in the Bank, like that's all part of universe mode. We just have to see if it's not buggy or not, because it really seems like universe mode looks like it's going to be great, and then it's buggy, and then it's like not what we were expecting. But I do have a universe mode video on the way, so you guys make sure to stay tuned for that as well. Another big feature is the fact that there's a ramp camera. You guys can check out what Brian Williams said about that right here.
The ramp facing camera is making a return that we'll be able to experience this year as well. It'll be an option that players can turn on and off, but it is making a return in 2K24.
And also like with Gauntlet too now, right? So it's just like seeing like who's coming down the ramp. I would say like to me it's just one of those presentation qualities that you're just like, you just like it changes the look of the game, and it just makes it look a little different in a good way.
And it really does reinforce it. I think one of the things that I love about it is that it makes choosing the arena you fight in that much more important, because now you're seeing the stage area. It's like you're getting that visual. So it's like it matters now which arena I want to compete in. So yeah, I think fans are really going to be happy with that new addition.
The ramp camera is such a huge feature to the game that it's so cool. Like Royal Rumbles, you'll be able to actually look at the wrestler coming down the ramp and you can see the stages. I think it's so cool. And the WrestleMania 39 arena is probably going to look amazing with that ramp camera. And it's just the best thing, man. We've been missing this for so many years, and I think that this is going to be a very, very nice feature just to add some realism and things like that. And it actually has a toggle on and off feature. I don't know if you can turn it on throughout the match and then turn it back off. I don't know how that works, but I think seeing a different angle from the gameplay for those that don't mod or anything like that, I think that's the best thing for players and giving us that freedom. As you guys know, the special guest referee match is making a return this year. Back in WWE 2K14, we did have that match type, but the wrestlers didn't come out with the ref attire already. This year, you don't have to worry about creating any attire. They will come out in their referee shirt, and I think that's really cool. Here you guys can see what Brian Williams said, comparing it to 2K14.
We deliver strong, and we've done that this year with the special guest referee. I'm sure you remember playing, speaking of 2K14, that match type was in 2K14, and I think one of the most obvious differences you'll notice in this year's iteration of the match type is that when you select that ref, whether it's Cody Rhodes or Bianca Belair, and you launch into the match type, that special guest ref will automatically be outfitted in referee attire, letting there be no mistaking who is officiating this match. And that's not to say to go along with all the functionalities inherent of being the ref, of counting pins, rope checks, ring out counts, all those things players will have to enforce or not enforce as they see fit. So I think fans are really going to have a blast with the return.
I think it's really cool. I know that a lot of people were like, we can make our own attires and stuff, but I think this is cool that you can just throw anybody in there and they're going to spawn with a referee shirt. That way you don't even have to worry about having to tell who's the ref or whatever the case is. So I think that's huge. I like that. It's a nice little detail in the game, but those little details are what makes the game. That shows that they care about these small details. We've been asking for chain wrestling for so long, and it doesn't seem like it's making a return, but instead there's called a trading blows minigame. So you guys know how the wrestlers do the chops back and forth. I think it's going to be like that a little bit. I think this is cool. I think that it adds some realism into the game and into the matches. I think that chain wrestling, some people see it as, that's too realistic, and we want to have more fun in an arcadey style. So I think the trade and blows minigame could actually be really, really good for the game, and I'm a fan. And that's just a small detail in the match that you'll see and you'll be like, that's really cool. So hopefully the gameplay matches up to some of these little details and features that they seem to keep adding. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out in game. This year there will be new paybacks that you'll be able to unlock through My Rise. There will be at least 6 new paybacks, and there is a couple out there. I'm not sure which ones exactly. You guys can check out what Brian Williams said right here about that.
We've added some new paybacks too. We have 6 new paybacks that we've added this year. 2 that are going to be unlocked through My Rise, and I won't say what those paybacks are, but when you do unlock them, you'll then be able to use them throughout all areas of the game. And just one of the paybacks that we added in particular, something that I really like. It's not the most powerful one, to be sure, but I'm a character guy, right? It's called Freeze. And what it is that the character who has Freeze can either perform a cowardly kind of chicken-esque begging off motion, or conversely, it can be a motion that is, something used to intimidate an opponent. And when you use it, it basically forces that of your opponent. It forces them to stop in their track. So if you remember, Eddie Guerrero back in the day would sometimes get on his hands and knees and kind of beg off from his opponent, and they kind of look at him like, look at this guy. Well, you can use freeze to do that in the game, and it gives you a chance for a free hit. Because, like I said,
adding new paybacks is really cool. I feel like for the last couple years we've had the same one, so 6 new paybacks. It gives a little more diversity to the wrestlers, and they don't have the same ones where they pull out the steel brass knuckles and hit them or things like that. I'm just glad that that's just, you know, that there's different options aside from that, or the low blow. So I think being able to unlock those through My Rise and then you actually get them in the game, that's really cool. I'm a fan of that, and it incentivizes me to go on ahead and play My Rise to get this game to the full potential. So I like the little unlockables that they're adding, because it just makes you want to play the game, go in every mode, see what you can unlock, see what you can find. I'm definitely a fan of that. And lastly, the last feature, they're doing some stuff with the weapons this year. They have added new weapons, and you can actually throw them, for the exception of one. We don't know which one we can't throw yet, but I know that they added a microphone. The guitar is back. It just looks great, man, and I'm a fan of that. I like that you can throw weapons. In AEW Fight Forever, we've seen that in the past year, but WWE 2K, I know that they're going to take it to a different level just because of the resources that they have. So I think this is going to be really fun, especially being able to throw a soda out of a vending machine. Dog, y'all killing it out there, man. I'm really looking forward to that. And those are my 8 details that you might have missed in WWE 2K24. We are going to keep getting news. If you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going. But yeah, man, shout out to Carol Valen.
Alright, thank y'all for watching. I'm head right into it. I ordered something on DoorDash, so I want to keep the streams going, so when it gets here, I'll be live.